Tonight you get two ghost stories for the price of one because they take place at the same site. And that site is the Reed Gold Mine in North Carolina. Now, I got to give you a little backstory about the Reed Mine in the first place. It was the first documented discovery of gold in the United States, and also the site of the first gold rush in the United States, well before California or Alaska or any of those. And it started when a young boy, Conrad Reed, found what he thought was a yellow rock on his father's property in a creek, uh, and they were using it for a doorstop, as a matter of fact, for about 3 years until a jeweler happened to pass through town and noticed that it was indeed a gold nugget, a solid gold nugget, a 17-pound solid gold nugget at that. And he paid the Reeds a hefty sum of $3.50 for it. Now, it was worth $3,500, and actually, he wound up not getting ripped off so bad because the jeweler, the unscrupulous jeweler who bought it, wound up coming back trying to buy more. And John Reed, the father, the owner of the property, called him out on how bad he ripped him off the first time. So he got $1,000 out of him, which was a lot more fair than $3.50. But I digress. Let me give you the first ghost story about the Reed mine, and this is the most popular one. And it is about Eleanor Mills. Now, Eleanor Mills was the wife of a man who had worked the mines, that had signed on to work the mines, and they had gotten into an argument one night. Now, there's a couple of different accounts of how it went down, but they do seem to agree that it was an accident. She either tripped over the hem of her dress and hit her head on something, or she fell down the stairs while her and her husband were arguing. And her husband took off after this, I guess, to get some air or whatever, or just to let it cool down. And when he came back, he discovered that his wife was still shouting. The only problem with that is that she was stiff and cold and still shouting. So he didn't know what to do. He dropped her down the nearby mine shaft. An unused mine shaft at the Reed mine is where he disposed of her. Now, to this day, near that mine shaft, people still hear sometimes sobbing, sometimes shouting, sometimes wailing, but they definitely still can be heard the sounds of a woman in distress. Now, I told you there were two, so the other one is another miner. Now, this is on a neighboring claim, but another miner by the name of Joe McGee had signed on to work for a man named McIntosh. And Mr. McIntosh had earned the nickname Skinflint because he was notoriously cheap and, just threw up unsafe working conditions for the miners to save a few bucks. Well, Joe McGee only agreed to work for Mr. McIntosh if Mr. McIntosh agreed to pay his wife a hefty sum, which was $2,000 if anything happened to Joe. And that would have set her well off for the rest of her life at that time. So Joe agreed, and sure enough, one day Joe didn't come home for dinner. And after the next day, a search party was formed, and they searched all over the mines and the neighboring property for Joe, to no avail. Could not be found. Well, the wife goes to Mr. McIntosh and says, surely something has happened to Joe. He's not come home. I need to collect the money that you promised. Well, he says that, no, Joe has run off on you. That's what's happened, and I'm not paying you," and slams the door in her face. Well, that night, a specter, an apparition, appears to Joe's best friend, Sean, and comes to him and tells him exactly where his body could be located. That the timbers that they had used to brace the mines were green, had not dried yet. That indeed Mr. McIntosh had cut corners and put up unsafe timbers, and they caved in on him. And he told Sean exactly where his body could be found. And he asked Sean, did Mr. McIntosh pay the money that he had promised my wife? And Sean told him no. At which point, the spirit of Joe McGee took off and said, "I will haunt that mine forever." Well, with this new information, a new search party was formed, and it was indeed exactly where Joe said they would be finding his body is where they found it. And they went back with this new information to Mr. McIntosh, to which he confessed. He finally caved and confessed, "Yes, I figured that Joe had died," and he did pay her the money that he had promised. But the damage had been done. Even though Joe's wife was made whole and he did get a proper burial, he is said to forever roam the mines in the area. And sometimes, even to now, people spot a spectral light, like a phantom lantern light, with a shadowy figure just out of the shade, just out of sight, basically. You can't really make out the who's behind this lantern, but you can definitely see a shadowy figure behind it. Now, not only are the screams of the distressed woman and the sightings of Joe, also there's disembodied footsteps, disembodied voices, phantom cold spots. So a lot's going on at the Reed Mine. Now let me know what you guys think in the comments. This has been Jay's Haunted Appalachia for tonight, but I want to give a special shout out here for Beth Stroud. I want to say happy birthday, Beth. See, tonight, Beth was supposed to be at the Reed Mine doing a tour, and I think the event got canceled or something, or her plans got canceled. But instead of her being able to go to the mine, I decided at least I could bring the mine to her. So happy birthday, Beth. I hope you enjoyed the story. Thank you for being an A1 from day one, always watching my videos and commenting and being so kind. And everyone else, if you have your own true paranormal story from Appalachia, I would love to hear about it. My email is visible in my bio, or you could message me direct. But I would love to hear from you. Maybe put it on the show. You can remain anonymous, or you can retain full bragging rights. That's totally up to you. And also, if you're watching this far, then please, if you want to help out the channel, I really appreciate you guys' support and kindness. If you want to help out the channel, please share it and, repost, share, like, all that. It would really help, and I would appreciate it. Again, that's been Jay's Haunted Appalachia for tonight. Keep Appalachia haunted, y'all. And happy birthday, Beth.